we've got
Alrighty, guys. So let's talk about this god.
a chance to look at the card and this turnaround.
I already watched Tiamat and his abilities, so I already have a pretty good understanding about it. So before you see any of his abilities, they take pretty long to actually even cast the abilities. I feel like it took forever to do that. I feel like it should have been more in sequence. So I'm just gonna explain to you. It's a character with double kit. The only difference from it is that usually it's like tier 3, right, where you switch stance, but the actual switching stance is actually an ability. Oh, I'm sorry, she. I have to get used to saying she. She. Tiamat she. Okay, hopefully it sticks. Her third ability, is what switches the stance, but it's also a leap and a pushback. We're gonna see it here. She has one knockup, she has two knockups, right? Is it just two? No, alright, two knockups and one stun. That's already a problem in my eyes. When you have a character with two knockups and one stun and a slow, that is 4 forms of CC. Obviously, we're gonna go into it. I know you guys are like, but I want to see. But I know. We're gonna go into it. I'm just talking about it. I already saw it, so I'm just gonna talk about it a little bit before. 2 knockups, 1 stun, and then yeah, I think it was an 80% slow for 1 second. It's still 1 second, but that's pretty ridiculous, right? It's also ranged. She can be ranged. I called it, unfortunately. She can be ranged, and she can be melee. Obviously, you want to be ranged. Her animations look amazing. I mean, obviously, the art team in Smite always kills it. She's going to be bloated for sure early game. But the beautiful part about this is that this character has a very high skill ceiling because of the minions she spawns. So let's get into it. We're going to watch it right now. This is her ranged autos. I'm pretty sure she crashes the game here because she uses everything. This is her spin tornado knockup that follows you. Her 1 in her range stance is that the minion spawn, the 3 jump that changes stances, and then the knockup in her 3 stance, and that was her ult that spin in that stance. Then the game crashed, and then he had poggers. We're gonna skip a little bit into it. Alright, so they're going to show the 1, I'm pretty sure, here. Yeah, they're going to show the 1 here. Alright, so... Where was I? Alright, so... That was her 1 there. Her one, as you level it up, shoots more. So I do see a problem with this one though. It's a pretty long charge time. It doesn't go the farthest. And I don't know how good of wave clear it is, but I'm sure it'll be pretty good wave clear. But it's something that can be interrupted, so that's something to keep in mind, right? Because right here, this is a level 1, right? So it's a different cast times. You have to charge it up. So you know it's coming. Yeah, so this does damage on the borders, and in the middle it does more and stuns.
The inner area will then also stun enemies that are inside of it. So low damage and then high damage and a stun for enemies inside the center.
I don't know about high damage. Yeah, that is the 2 in mage form.
Of course, I called it out a little bit, but new shape. I'm sure people are hype about that.
Guys, what's the button to move 10 seconds in a video?
Arrow keys.
Arrow keys?
Should be.
Not on Twitch. What is it? Wait, I guess you have to have it playing. Okay, there you go.
It's like, imagine that.
Okay, so we just looked over the 1 and the 2 in mage form. While they're very, so I did, like I said earlier, I talked about the CC duration. Her having a lot of CCs is very strong, but she does have a lot of problems. I feel her damage is going to be pretty lackluster if you ask me. Her 1 has a long animation. It also can be interrupted. Her 2 doesn't look like it does that much damage. I mean, obviously these are level 20 Odin bots, but they're 20 Odin bots with no items. So the base damage doesn't seem that high on the 2. You have to be pretty close to hit it.
I love the effects on this one.
Like, so being that close doesn't feel that good as a mage, but I feel like this character feels a little bit more like a Baron type of character. When I say Baron, obviously not as bad as Baron, but as he is right now, but more of like kind of be in your face type of mage. She can be like pretty close to you because she has double dashes. I think what they should do to this character is keep the damage pretty low on her abilities and let you try to master the character to do very strong, very amazing things. Because she does on her melee stance, she has spawn minions on both on her melee stance, if I'm not mistaken, and the minions don't really seem that strong. The Minotaur, the little Minotaur that she spawns, slows. It charges and slows for 1 second. That's pretty cool, but the other minions don't really do anything. I'm assuming they're going to be pretty good for farm, to split farm, but that means you're taking away from your team either way because you can make them send to minions. But in this video, they show that when you send the minions on the minimap here, you imagine you're at Phoenix, right? Early game, and you send the minions here. It'll get the Scorpion. It'll go to the Scorpion. So that's a problem, right? Because you'd like it to go to the Minion wave and you would get XP for the Minion wave. So sending it to Scorpions is gonna mess up. Sending it mid wave is good, but that means you're taking farm from your mid laner, and that's really not the best thing to do. Now that I'm a mid laner, so yeah, so the character has a bloated kit, yes, but I think a lot of people are gonna it's gonna take people a while to master it, and I think even the like platinum and under are still gonna have a bunch of problems with damage output.
I called it out a little bit, but new shape. I'm sure people are hype about that.
Always. And both of these abilities are really exploring the sort of like primordial you want to destroy, right? It's really cool.
Just control
type of
Z.
unique take.
Well done,
Creation.
Isaiah.
I
Well,
appreciate it. I've been practicing, you know.
People were wondering how is Tiamat going to be summoning all these different creatures and how does she have all these abilities? Well, that's in the 4th, her ultimate in the flying stance. If you can see right here, she's actually going to be toggling in to another stance, really, another posture, where she can now use 3 completely different abilities in this stance. They all will share a cooldown. The first one here is Summon Serpents, where Tiamat will place a Pit of Creation, which spawns serpents of Tiamat that travel.
These are the minions that I was talking about.
Just like minions, just like lane minions. They attack nearby enemies. If you do them in the jungle, they'll try and attack things nearby before finding a nearby lane. 2 serpents spawn every 10 seconds.
They literally do nothing outside of auto for 8 damage. So, with that being said, those minions really do nothing but steal farm, in my opinion, and tank jungle buffs. Like, they really... I don't find any, like, body block hunters, steal farm, tank jungle buffs. That's really the only thing I see.
And the deployable in general will create 3 waves before disappearing. Also, any enemies
The animation to cast a minion takes a while as well.
that are hit by the serpents will have their damage done reduced. These guys are really a new mechanism that we haven't really tried
Damage reduce, good versus hunters.
before, which is lane, like passive lane pushers.
Do they give radar? You mean vision?
A little bit about their health as well as that they take.
What we're about to see here is what I was talking about. That the minions act. The things you spawn act like minions. If there's nothing to attack, so they walk up waves. They don't die. They don't die until they're. I mean, they don't have a timer, so they need to be killed. So usually towers and/or minion waves. But the problem with that is, you'll see it right here.
As well.
Look at it. It goes straight to the Scorpion.
You can do
Which is it makes it absolutely useless, in my opinion. So the only time it can be good is if your lanes are getting pushed in and you can send those 2 little minions to give an advantage to your wave so that it pushes it out, right? So let's say, for example, you're here on the mini-map, they already got tier 2, they're playing for fire, and they push out left wave, and the wave is around here. Send you're coming at a base to defend fire, you send your 2 little minions to help your wave push out, and that's what it's going to do. I don't know how much. I mean, it does damage reduction. It takes 4 autos, which is not a lot for minions, but it does damage reduction. So if you send it behind the wave, those 2 minions doing damage reduction to their minions can give you a pretty good lane advantage. So that's something that I can think about right off the bat.
Some really interesting lane pushing and XP farming tricks with this ability too. And it's a very unique ultimate in that you can choose which one you want. So if it wasn't clear, this is used by pressing 2 different buttons to activate the ultimate and then pressing another one to choose the creature. Similar as kind of the way you would do Merlin's.
It will spawn 6 minions over the span of 30 seconds. So they continue to spawn if they're not killed in 30 seconds. Is that what you're saying? I don't remember reading that. I haven't read though.
Yep.
I'm just going over what they showed.
Actually stand on that pit of creation deployable.
Every 10 seconds it spawns 2.
To actually destroy it early as well. That's if they can find it, if they can get to it. But in general, these minions.
I don't really like that. That just makes it for a split push type of character. Maybe it could be effective in solo, the character. It could, so you can send your minions, but if their soul laners there, it's not gonna help.
Well, if you actually see, they don't have a lifetime. They will keep traveling until they're killed eventually by towers or the Titan.
I was gonna bring that up. I was gonna say, so these serpents are persistent. They will
Yeah, so it looks because there's 6 here or 3, and it was a couple seconds.
push until they die.
Yeah.
And yeah, that circle will only last 3 waves of these minions. You can only have one of the pits out at a time. But from there, I think we can go into the second of Tiamat's flying ultimate abilities, Summon Beast, where Tiamat creates a different one of her children, Kusariku, one of the ones in the stories.
This is the minion, the Minotaur that charges and slows.
Who stands guard at a target location. A little bit different to the primary purpose. Kusariku, or the Summon Beast, if an enemy god gets too close, he will charge them and slow them and then attack them. He will wait guard to protect Tiamat and protect locations. So you can see he's just waiting there, but if there's a god nearby, he will immediately start attacking them and slowing them extremely heavily for 80%, but only for 1 second.
I wonder, they didn't say how much HP the Minotaur would have, which is kind of important.
All of these children we're spawning here from Tiamat are also based specifically on ancient Babylonian texts, and they have their ancient Babylonian names, which Clumsy is doing a pretty good job of pronouncing.
Yeah, I know.
I hope I'm doing okay there.
Yeah.
So yeah, he serves a kind of monster child, as you'd see, but it is Umudabrutu,
This is his best ability, in my opinion.
the violence
Her.
storm. And Umudabrutu, or summoning storm, when Tiamat creates this deployable, it actually follows enemies before knocking them upwards and dissipating.
250 plus 100 per level?
Is actually still one of Tiamat's children.
Per level of the ability or per level of your level?
If you guys caught on social media, you know we love our distracted boyfriend meme here at Hi-Rez, and this is one that we were thinking about here. So
I don't know. I don't really like that it's unmissable. I don't like that it follows you like that. Like it just tracks you.
it's kind of like Cuckoo Tornado, but not really. But it follows around. But
follows
again,
Yeah,
around
all the effects.
the 3 other spoiler tweets were actually the references to her 3 children that she can spawn.
It moves kind of
Those
slow
were
though.
Kind of more ancient runic style. Those were meant to.
I don't know. I have to see though.
Which was a really cool concept.
Yep,
Okay.
exactly.
When it sticks onto you, it feels like it has
Sometimes,
pretty good speed.
earlier, and I can get to it. If you want to use those basilisks to spawn and push down the lane, that's fine. But that means you won't have your Minotaur, your Bulwark there, who might help root down a single target if you're being ganked. Which also means you might not have Umudabrutu there for it when team fights break out, and you might want that AoE disruption.
Right.
I feel like the combo is gonna be Minotaur, and the Minotaur sets up the stun, then the stun sets up the 1, and then you or no, actually, you stun, you Minotaur, then you stun, then you send a tornado on them, and it's gonna knock up, and then you 1, and then it knocks up, and you can cast your full 1 on them.
Well, that wraps it up. We've gone through everything in flying stance, so
Yep,
let's
one more stance to
transition
go.
and let's transition and switch things up and talk about grounded stance. And the first ability, probably the biggest talking point
Oh, you can only use the Minotaur or the tornado.
on social media after the closer look is consume.
Interesting.
Let's talk about consume, Clumsy. What's going on with this one?
So I love introducing.
Yeah, consume is the buff. You can consume buffs, and then you consume the red buff, and it drops the red buff.
Introducing this one to people because I just go, it's a simple cone, right? You consume, you just look at it, it's a simple cone, it deals damage and it slows enemies. But wait.
Wow, that slows too? Man, he has, she has 2 slows, 2 knockups, 1 stun.
There's more. We really wanted to try something different here. Consume in the grounded stance. Tiamat can actually use this in minions, on large monsters and buff holders, as we're about to see, to execute them underneath the health thresholds. So you can see the little FX mark we have on those enemies. It'll instantly kill those enemies. Now, as you might have seen with this kind of mechanic before, if Tiamat actually does this to a buff holder, well,
I didn't know this slows.
I think I'd love to.
The Minotaur and the consume slows.
She duplicates buffs, but there's actually a little bit more to it as well.
Yeah, she's about to consume the buff and it drops a red.
So Tiamat is able to consume and immediately gain one of these buffs, as we're about to see. Bang. She dropped a red buff in the world, and she gained a red buff as well. But there's a little bit more to it too.
I don't think she's too strong.
Kills another jungle buff holder without using, well, not necessarily without using consume. If she already has consume a consumed buff, so go ahead and kill that. She can then actually walk over and pick up a second buff. So not only does she
wish I could see
buffs,
chat right now.
Yeah, I know. You're gonna be like, wait a second. What? So she actually is able to the first god. In fact, we actually started out with the consumed buff having like 20% of the duration, or 30 or 50%, but we noticed that
Fire Giant red buff, speed buff. I'm so glad they buffed speed buff as well. Yo, Sabadux, thanks for the tier 1 sub, man. Really appreciate it, bro. Welcome to the stream.
Gameplay, and even if you're playing her in the jungle, it's not the easiest to make use of this. Now, in other game modes like Arena or Joust, it might actually be a lot easier. But in Conquest, if you're playing, you're feeling pretty happy.
It's generally just
So
difficult.
is the
only
upright
have
ult?
once, and
You can
wanna
only
disrupt
choose
all
one of the
their
3 options.
starting positions in their normal jungle flow, just so you can get an extra jungle buff, especially not necessarily.
One of the 2, is it not?
But I'm very excited to see how the pros use this and when they do coordinate.
If Tiamat is on your team, you're definitely wanting to prioritize the Greater Scorpion to get those enhanced jungle buffs.
Yep, Pawn's got a good point here. Another thing that you can see is that, just like in the stories, Tiamat can actually consume.
Yeah, you consume your minions, which you get damage reduction on your passive.
Her actual.
The way her 4 works is in ult you click 4, click 1, 2, or 3, then all those go on cooldown for the other stance. The creeps, the Minotaur, and the Tornado are three creatures she can spawn. Yeah, I know.
Pets. So they will immediately be executable by consume. You can see those little points. And what that does, if you remember from the passive, is that she can actually gain hardened scales, which is what allows her to have the extra mitigations when her pets die around her. So if she summons minions in the flying stance, her pets, and then goes into the ground stance and immediately consumes them, she will be even tankier. She gets 5 stacks of hardened scales. I know, it sounds like a lot, guys, but believe me, it'll all come together.
So much. All right. Well, that was consumed. Let's talk about Outburst. Going to be the second ability in grounded stance.
Outburst, a lot more simple. Tiamat slams the ground.
I think this might be one of her best abilities.
That erupt in
They buff speed buff, yes.
damaging and knocking up enemies.
Enhanced speed buff now gives 5% more
That's
speed.
all it does, I promise.
That's it. Yeah. I was waiting. I was like, wait, is there?
That's such a good ability.
Rolling damage and CC.
Yeah. We've already talked about the third ability, which allows her to switch stances, but then she's finally got her ultimate in ground stances.
Yes. Tempest of Undoing, her ultimate in grounded stance. What does this one do?
So Tempest of Undoing, it causes an outburst around her, dealing damage in that circle around her that you see, and also a small dot effect to any enemies that are hit by this, gods and minions. Now, the other thing to note, just one small other caveat, is that when Tiamat uses and hits enemy gods, she also gains 1 hardened scale per enemy god hit. This ability is her main way of generating hardened scales outside of just stance switching. So we assume that you're not going to be using her pets and consuming them, or people dying nearby. So you use this right after you've dived in on as many gods as you can to gain stacks of mitigation.
Yeah, so, I mean...
How do you guys kind of envision playstyle recommendations?
I don't feel like I feel like she's gonna be strong if you master her. I mean, I don't know. I need to see her with items. Like, I need to see what she looks like if I go to Hootie. How she looks like if I go, you know, ethereal. ethereal breastplate, spirit magus, spirit robe. Like I need to feel her out. From what I see right now, she has a super high skill gap. Her ceiling is super high on what you can and can't do. But I think to get this character to be good, just good, you have to understand her kit to the T. And you have to use it to the T. If you're not using it clean, like, you're not going to get the damage. You're not going to get the damage you need. She's going to feel pretty weak. I feel like I'm going to see a lot of people play this character, Tiamat, and see the damage numbers real low.
In the meta and in Conquest.
So, I mean, she's definitely most likely going to be...
You're saying her one will hit like sit-up crush if you hit every tick? I could see that, but you have to hit every tick, and it also has a long animation compared to it.
Maybe even in the jungle, if people really want to try and get maximum utilization out of
Can play this god for every role? You can play any god in every role.
She doesn't actually have the strongest...
The question is, will it be good in every role? Definitely not Hunter. Support. Maybe.
Unlike most stands, which was like Merlin,
maybe.
for example.
Support solo, I think is support solo. I feel like support solo mid. I think.
Even with that, it's a bit rough.
Yeah, that's a great point. She is
I feel like I don't like her in jungle, even though she can consume buffs.
Stand switch at level 1.
Her clear is trash. Outside of consume,
Best ability for you to take.
her clear seems so bad.
Great point, Clumsy.
The other thing to note.
What up, baby? Thanks for 7. 17 months.
Wanted to make sure that Tiamat really did justice to all of these different themes. I think it's going to make a lot more sense when you get your hands on her.
I think you could do support with this character.
She has a lot that she can do. It's all actually coming out over a longer period of time, right? Even if
I mean, you can play her in every role, but
you're using summon beasts to slow down an
I don't know.
enemy.
Gemma ISO is picked up on her.
Into enemies.
Yeah, too bad Gemma ISO sucks.
Combo there. That's still not maybe as much burst as just using your 3-1 ulti combo as Evo. You know?
Support her with consume to execute and double buffs. That's what I was thinking. I just think like casting if once you learn how to cast her minions and really combo her CC, I feel like she can be really strong. But yeah, this is the new character. I still don't know how to pronounce it. Tiamat. Tiamat. Such an ugly name. But yeah, this is a new character. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys understood most of her kit. Tiamat. I'm gonna go over the patch notes. Do we have the patch notes? And I'm gonna go over those quick on they changed a couple things for season 8. Anybody have it? Anybody have a link to those? All right, here we go. So this is the new character. Let's look at these numbers. While in flying stance, Tiamat gains health and nearby enemies. In ground stance, she gains up to 5 hardened scales. Damage mitigation that breaks after a certain amount of damage is taken. Normal minions do not provide hardened scales. Large heal 40 plus 8 per level. Small heal 5 plus 0.5. Scale mitigation 60%. Shield value, she's gonna be tanky. And you're gonna want HP to back this up. HP and power. I feel this is gonna be a soul laner. Soul support. If you understand how to CC chain properly with this character. If she plays mid, she's gonna play like a Baron mid, which doesn't feel the best in this meta. Tiamat gathers power. Okay, the orbs. Hitting the same enemy deals 15% less damage each time to a minimum of 70% reduction. This ability can be fired additional projectiles at ranks 3 and 5. 70% reduction. So sharing the damage on different people is important. So being able to whip your mouse is going to be pretty important on this one. 100 per shot. How many shots? 5 projectiles. So 500 damage plus 55% of your magic power. Let's just say you have, just make it 50%. Let's say you have like 300 power because you're going hybrid. 150, 650 max level. That's fucking OP. Plus you're going hybrid. You're doing 15% less. We'll say like 450. Alright, these cooldowns are pretty long. 16 goes to 12. Radiation Tiamat creates an energy field dealing low damage to enemies in the entire area and a larger amount in the inner area. This is the 2. The area damage 100 plus 30%. Low scaling inner 40% 200. Doubles. Stun duration 1 second. Pretty long CD. Early game at least. Tiamat dives into the fight, landing on all fours, dealing damage and switching to her ground stance. His ability also provides Tiamat 1 hardened scale. Damage 200 plus 40% magic power. She doesn't scale the best. So she's definitely meant to be hybrid. She scales decent, but I feel like hybrid's going to be the best for her. Especially because you're going to want to dash in and be melee. Tiamat is able to summon one of her children on the battlefield, summon serpents that travel down lanes and act as minions, summon beasts, whatever the name that is, who stands guard waiting for enemy gods, summon Storm, Umu Dabarutu, the storm that chases enemies. Minotaur 2-1. Then dash cone slow. I don't know, I feel like that would kill people. Summon serpents, so we're gonna go over. Okay, I think we went over this, right? Children created Tiamat able to summon one of her. Okay, we already went over this. They're just gonna go over the 3 summons. Tiamat plays the pick creations that spawn serpents with Tiamat that act like minions. So you're never gonna cast these in a fight. Literally, these 2 are infinitely better. So what you do is you come at a base and you cast them in a lane that you want to F over to steal their farm. You put this, you come at a base, you do summon serpents, you put it mid or left, and then in the jungle, you're probably going to be using, if you jungle with her, you're going to be using this. If you're mid, probably between these 2, it depends like how the fight is. What I feel like is one of these is going to be better than the other significantly, and the other one's not going to be used. Would you get assists from your laner? You can only have 1 time. Yeah, I know, but I'm saying what you're going to do is you're going to spawn these when you're coming out of your base, but you're never going to use these in a fight. Unless like you're ganking a hunter, but then I still feel like, I mean, the damage reduction is nice, but I still feel like you'd rather have the slow or the knockup. Alright, this is the cone. Tiamat fires a cone. Alright, I want to see the slow is 1.5. That's pretty long. It's 25%. Not too bad. It's not too slow. The damage is 200. 60% magical power. Execute threshold 50%. Wow. If you max that, you're clearing fast. What the shit? What's the CD? 8 seconds. Whoa. Whoa. Little breastplate action. Whoa, that's kind of short. Outburst. Tiamat slams the ground, creating seismic rifts that erupt in succession in front of her, damaging and knocking up enemies hit. This is the melee form knock up. It does decent damage, 170. It takes kind of long to hit, so you have to be pretty close because it does little bumps. 50% of your magical power, so okay scaling. It doesn't hit that hard, but it's another knock up, another CC. Rising Flight. Tiamat rears up, sending out a blast of energy, dealing damage to enemies and sending herself backwards as she returns flying stance. Wow, that does damage. I didn't think this would do damage. I thought it would just like slow as he backs up. 200. This does damage too. Everything does damage. Your little vampiric shroud. I've been saying melee since Smash Bros. Fuck English. Tiamat, this is her ult in the melee form. Tiamat causes a celestial outburst around her that does whatever damage and then a little bit of burn damage, and then you get 2 seconds of burn damage, then you get a bunch of scales, 1 scale per person hit. This is a lot to like process. I feel as I see her, I feel like you have to master her to be good with her. I think if you just pick up the character, you're not going to do anything. you need to understand in what scenarios of the fight in the jungle, mid, what abilities are you going to be rotating. I think rotation of the kit is going to be super, super important. Are we going to talk about the 80% slow on summon beast? But it's only for 1 second, so it's really short. But yeah, I mean, it's good. Two buffs is not really that concerning. I mean, what, you get red buff and then you get blue buff, enhanced blue buff, enhanced red. That's probably the best. That's the best case scenario. You have to go pretty far across the map to get both those buffs. And then when you do, I mean, you do have 20% CD, and then it's an immense amount of power. Speed in red, yeah, it's okay. Speed's kind of whack right now. I mean, enhanced speed is pretty nice. Finally, they buffed it. Extra 10% CCR. It's a meme. So let's just go over these skins. The X-Ball skin, we're just gonna might as well go over you know, 8.2 because they did do some changes. The new skins, the Baron skin, the Mana skin is nuts. This Baron skin is nuts. This X-Ball skin is pretty fun. It's a viewer store. These are all viewer pass, so make sure to go watch. Come to my Twitch, YouTube. Come to my Twitch. You can get viewer points. I got the drops enabled. This Arachne skin pretty sick. Unfortunately, Arachne sucks. This Mulan skin is alright. I think it's pretty cool. Something different from Mulan. This Capri skin is amazing. I love this Capri skin. The recolor is cool. Another recolor is pretty cool. Mastery skins. I mean, this character just looks super amazing as it is. So general, let me see. I remember I already went over this. So let's see what's up. Updated. Okay, we already knew about this. Roll trade. This is cool. Boom, 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 boom. Esports and live stream 600 gems. That includes. Okay, this is just viewer point stuff. Earn free rewards. Pretty much watch my stream, Kappa. Gemma focus. Fix the issue with that. I don't want to make you do take more damage instead of less damage. Okay. Freya did more damage. Okay, with Mannequin. Ymir. Wow, that's hilarious. Okay, those are just little bug fixes, UI, more bug fixes, general gameplay, global healing reduction, fixing issue balling, rules affecting mana, heals, and other resources. This rule tended to only apply to HP, healing from abilities, and lifesteals. Lifesteal. Okay. Increase time precision for the spawn. Alright, they should have fixed where the Scorpion gives if you kill a Scorpion while you have a red buff, it should just give you enhanced red buff for the time you have red buff. The time that you have left. I don't know why they didn't do that. I feel like that's pretty stupid. Okay, Bakasura, more issues. Wow, there's a lot of issues, huh? Where he receives Eye of the Jungle. I mean, that's normal. I guess season 8's full new map. More more issues. Okay. Game modes, Conquest, updated guide, start route, Invader's Curse, adjusted the area around camps. Oh yeah, they made it before you can kind of get around with Invader's Curse, but now they fixed that. No longer activates an aura healing while it's down state. Now activates aura healing when it's leash radius for around the team that slays it. That should have been like that from the beginning. I mean, kind of zoning the other hunter while it has one little tick was pretty ridiculous if you ask me. That's the way it should be. I agree with this completely. The base stats from the Scorpion 6 to 2 to 6. Wow, so physicals printed better. Interesting. I don't know why they changed that. Physical power increase from 28 to 34 hits a little harder, and you get way less XP. What the hell? I guess you're doing it for the HP 5 now. Enhanced speed buff, pretty much what I was talking about. No longer provides crowd CCR. Now provides an additional flat 5% movement speed. So now it's 10% CCR, and you get, what is it, 15% now? Am I trolling? Might be trolling. Alright, spectator, yeah, gameplay version of the map. They lowered the fire giant wall and the trees a little bit, but they still wanted the trees to make characters like Thor useless. This item no longer marks jungle bosses, obviously, because then it's useless. That should have been like that. Mannequin, overrated, garbage, but they fixed it. An issue where Mannequin Scepter was dealing magic damage rather than physical. Decreased attack speed slow from 7% to 3.5. I mean, that's big. They half the stacks. Danza got lower scaling on the ults. This doesn't hurt him too bad. He's still very, very strong. He's still very, very strong. King Arthur, so Mannequin couldn't be procced on his autos. They changed that. Baby Yaga got a big lifestyle change where now, remember I would always complain when I play Baby Yaga that you literally taking out your 2 took like 4 days, and then throwing it took another 4 days. So like you can never really hit it on a person because they know it's coming. So they fixed that. 0.4, 0.2, half the time. Pre-fire time is a big one. Then these two, post-fire and pre-fire, look really good. This is good. Does it make the character top? No, I mean it's still bottom tier, but definitely helps the character a ton. Jorm's basic attacks can no longer be reduced by items that have flat damage reduction. This is big for Jorm because if that's the case, then Jorm's autos are legit useless. Immovable, anything that would move you, you take 15% less damage. That's good. These are just lifestyle changes for the characters. Pretty good. Doesn't make them like significantly better. Just a tiny bit better. This is a pretty big change. Reducing 10 prots. Level 1 is kind of crazy. It's kind of like on her passive, but on your 3. And then increase the scaling of yellow stance from 5 to 10%. Pretty nice. And increase the duration to 7 seconds. Real nice. Odin buff is pretty big because now caging. So before it was attack speed. Change duration to 5 seconds at all ranks. But now you have reduced power so he can box a ton better within Ring of Spears. So he's just better. And Isis, this is a pretty big Isis change, man. The increase slow from 20% to it scales up to 30%, and then increase the health shield to 270. Like if I was a support, I would definitely be trying this character. I might even try to. I do get support in today in ranked. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hit the thumbs up if you guys like what you heard. I hope I covered everything, and I hope you understood everything that I said. Thank you for watching. We're gonna jump into the ranked world Twitch, YouTube. You'll catch me later. Bonus patch notes. Oh yeah, this Heim skin is amazing. I remember. Okay, sorry YouTube, I was trolling. Yeah. The new Heim skin, the home run Heim dollar, looks amazing. This Book of Thoth skin, they all have like cheesy skins for Thoth, so I love that this one is straight of your nightmares. This Pele skin looks pretty cool. This Achilles skin looks pretty awesome. More changes live February 9th. So in 6 days, these changes will be up and going. Decrease MP5 from 15 to 10. Pretty big change, honestly. Decrease magical power from 30 to 25. Pretty big change. Like I said, this had to go. I wrote on Twitter that this item was too strong. Decrease 2.5 scaling per stack to 2%. It's still very strong. Still very, very strong item. Just makes it a little bit weaker. Pendulum of Ages, increased cooldown reduction from 10 to 20%. Wow, that's pretty big, but still pretty big. Increased magical power per 10% available mana to 7 to 10. So wait. Increased magical power per 10% of available mana from 7 to 10. I don't know. Am I brain dead right now? Increased magical power per 10% of available mana. Am I brain dead? Or is that not like written right? I don't know. Okay, we'll skip over that one for a second. Decrease physical protections. Why does this have physical protections? It gets 10 power for every 10% of mana. You could have 100 more power if at 100% mana. So having a ton of MP5 to make sure you're stacked up on mana to get more power from it is pretty good. I feel like all the item routes makes you have 1 billion mana at all times though. Right now with Tahuti Tahuti got nerfed though, but we'll get to that in a bit. Decrease physical protection from 15 to 10. Good. I don't know why this has physical protection. Decrease bonus damage from 16 to 12. Oof, another hit. Increase bonus jungle damage from 3 times to 4 times. So they're trying to make it really a jungle item. I'll use it. I'll try it out. I'll try it out. So it's less damage, 12, but it's 4 times now. It's okay. It's just they just aiming it more towards the jungle and less just towards everybody using it early game and killing people. Now it provides 200 health on Bluestone. Yeah, this Bluestone, this upgrade to Bluestone was garbage. Wait, is this baby Bluestone or is this upgraded Bluestone to the right? Which one is this? Is upgraded. Alright, Warrior's Axe no longer provides 2 flat damage reduction. Wow, that's a big nerf. Increase 50 to 75 health. Yeah, but this is kind of big because minions. You lose it literally by just pulling 6 minions to hit you. You lose the HP that you would have reduced from the 2 flat damage. Remove the 5 flat damage reduction on this item on Sundering Axe. Another nerf. Now provides 10 physical protections, decrease health from 100 to 75, just a minor tweak. Infuse Sigil, decrease the stack count to detonate from 5 to 4 abilities. Increase detonate damage from 400 to 500 magical power. I gotta try this, but I just haven't been playing enough solo and support to try it. Sigil of the Old Guard now provides 30 physical protections. Decrease cost from 700 to 600 on War Flag. That's really efficient for pots. Decrease 750 to 600. Really efficient for pots. Decrease both protections shared between allies on passive from 120 to 100. Needed the nerf. This was stupid. It was super broken. And now they're trying to even out the alternative to Sentinel's Embrace by giving this 40 magical protections, which is a ton. No longer deals damage to structures. This item is a meme. Death Temper, which is the alternative to the actual good upgrade of Death Toll. Increase the range at which you can gain stacks from fallen enemies from 30 to 80 units. So doubled. I think that's like the same as Doom Orb, no? Or maybe a little more, a little less. Not sure. Ratatouille, we knew this was coming. Decreased magical power from 160 to 140. Still a broken item in my opinion. You still get it. I would still get it. Why would you get... Alright, so what do you prefer? Do a little bit more movement speed or 10% pen on a mage? I feel like that's pretty easy for me to pick. Decrease base damage from 85 to... So the scaling on it, it's still very strong early mid, but the scaling on it, lose 20 power. Decrease base healing from 45 to 35, 75. So 10 per level. Still a really strong character, though. I don't think this hurts him too bad. I think he's still very strong. Decrease scaling from 80 to 75%. 10% on double hit. A nerf. Double nerf. Longer CD on the ult. Still a strong character. Just more situational now. You want to be able to cripple characters. You want the characters that are crippled to actually be in a bad spot. So all around, hope you guys enjoy the changes. Sorry about that. I try to make sure to cover everything so you guys are covered. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you guys. Let's get to the gaming.